When fans follow the lives of global stars, sometimes the smallest moments end up meaning the most. A quick appearance, a quiet visit, a simple outing. These can suddenly turn into stories that spread across the internet like wildfire. And recently, that's exactly what happened when Park Jimin was reportedly seen visiting his father's cafe with none other than Jungkook by his side. At first glance, it might seem like a simple thing. Two friends stopping by a family cafe. Nothing unusual, right? But if you know anything about the history between these two members of BTS, you already understand why this small moment has captured the imagination of millions of fans around the world. Because whenever Jimin and Jungkook appear together in a casual setting, something special tends to happen. The story started circulating when fans claimed that Jimin had taken Jungkook to visit the cafe owned by his father in Busan. For longtime followers, this location already carries emotional meaning. The cafe isn't just a business, it's a place connected to Jimin's childhood, his family, and the humble beginnings that shaped who he is today. So when fans heard that Jungkook was there too, the reaction was immediate. Why would Jimin bring Jungkook to such a personal place? For some people, the answer is simple. They are close friends. They have spent more than a decade growing up together under the intense spotlight of the global music industry. When two people share that kind of journey, visiting family places together might feel completely natural. But fans, especially ARMY, rarely stop at the simplest explanation. Instead, they start asking questions. Was this just a casual visit? Was it planned? Or was it something more meaningful, a quiet moment between two people who have supported each other through some of the most demanding years of their lives? To understand why this visit matters so much to fans, you have to rewind the story a bit. Long before stadium tours and global awards, Jimin and Jungkook were just trainees trying to survive in the competitive world of K-pop. When they debuted with BTS in 2013, they were incredibly young. Jungkook was only 15. Jimin had left his hometown behind to chase a dream that wasn't guaranteed to succeed. Imagine being that young, suddenly living with 6 other people, training non-stop, facing criticism, pressure, and uncertainty every day. Who do you lean on during moments like that? Over time, fans watched something interesting happen between Jimin and Jungkook. Their dynamic evolved in ways that were both playful and deeply supportive. They teased each other constantly, challenged each other during performances, and sometimes competed in ways that made fans laugh. But underneath the jokes, there was always something else: mutual respect. You could see it in their rehearsals, you could hear it in interviews, and you could feel it in the way they spoke about each other. Jungkook has often described Jimin as someone who inspires him to work harder. Jimin, on the other hand, has repeatedly praised Jungkook's dedication and talent. Now, imagine those two people, after years of touring the world, finally taking a quiet break together and visiting a cafe connected to Jimin's family. Does that sound like just another random outing? Or does it feel a little more personal? Fans who heard about the visit immediately began sharing their thoughts online. Some imagined the scene inside the cafe. Maybe they sat near the window. Maybe Jimin introduced Jungkook to people who had known him since he was young. Maybe the atmosphere was calm and relaxed, something rare for artists who usually move through crowds surrounded by cameras and security. And that's another reason why this moment resonated so strongly. For global superstars, privacy is incredibly rare. Almost every public appearance becomes news. Every photo gets analyzed. Every interaction becomes a topic of discussion. Yet this cafe visit felt different. It wasn't about a concert. It wasn't about a promotional event. It wasn't part of a music video shoot. It was simply two people spending time somewhere meaningful. That kind of authenticity is exactly what fans love to see. But there's also another layer to the story, one that longtime fans immediately noticed: Busan. Both Jimin and Jungkook share a special connection to this city. While Jimin was born in Busan, Jungkook spent part of his youth there as well. The city has always been an emotional anchor in their story. So when they appear there together, fans can't help but feel nostalgic. It brings back memories of earlier BTS content, where the members talked about their hometowns, their families, and the dreams they had before fame changed everything. Think about how rare it is for global celebrities to revisit the ordinary places that shaped them. Restaurants, schools, neighborhood cafes. These locations become symbols of a past life, one that feels almost impossible to return to. Yet moments like this suggest that even the biggest stars still hold on to those connections. And maybe that's why the story spread so quickly online, because in a world filled with carefully staged celebrity appearances, this felt refreshingly genuine. Of course, fans being fans, the speculation didn't stop there. Some people started analyzing the timing of the visit. Was this during a break from schedules? Were they simply traveling together? Or did Jungkook specifically decide to join Jimin on this personal trip? No one outside their circle knows the full answer, and honestly, maybe that mystery is part of the charm. When fans don't have every detail, imagination fills the gaps. One fan joked online, "Imagine Jungkook trying all the desserts at Jimin's Café." Another wondered if Jimin proudly showed him his favorite childhood drink. Others simply focused on the emotional meaning behind the moment, because bringing a friend to meet family or even just visit a family business isn't something people do lightly. It usually means trust, comfort, a feeling that this person belongs in your personal world, not just your professional one. And when fans think about how long Jimin and Jungkook have known each other, that idea starts to make perfect sense. More than 10 years together, countless performances, endless hours in practice rooms, shared struggles and victories. If anyone from BTS would feel like family by now, it would probably be another member of the group. Still, seeing it play out in real life hits differently. It turns an abstract idea, friendship, loyalty, brotherhood, into a real moment people can imagine. And for fans who have followed their journey since the early days, it's incredibly touching. Another interesting aspect of this story is how it highlights something unique about BTS as a group. Many bands talk about being like family, but in BTS, that phrase often seems genuine. Over the years, the members have repeatedly emphasized how important their bond is. They've lived together, traveled together, and faced global pressure together. That kind of shared experience creates connections that go beyond normal friendships. So when fans see Jimin and Jungkook appear casually bringing Jungkook into his family space, it reinforces that narrative. It suggests that their bond isn't just something performed for cameras, it's part of their everyday lives. And that authenticity is one of the biggest reasons BTS has maintained such a loyal fan base around the world. But let's pause for a moment and ask a bigger question. Why do moments like this matter so much to people who have never met these artists? Why does a simple cafe visit become a trending topic? The answer might be simpler than we think. Stories like this remind fans that behind the fame, these idols are still human beings. They still visit family, they still share meals with friends, they still return to places that hold memories. In an industry often criticized for being overly manufactured, glimpses of normal life feel incredibly valuable. They make the connection between artist and audience feel more real. And when fans feel that connection, they invest emotionally in the journey. That's exactly what happened here. Within hours, posts about the cafe visit were spreading across social media platforms. People shared photos of the cafe itself. Others talked about previous times BTS members had visited family businesses. Some simply celebrated the idea that Jimin and Jungkook were spending time together again. And maybe the most heartwarming part of all this is the tone of those conversations. Instead of drama or controversy, most reactions were filled with affection, fans describing the moment as cute, sweet, or comforting. It's rare for internet discussions to stay that positive, but somehow this story managed to do it. Perhaps because it taps into something universal: friendship, home, shared memories, things everyone understands. Now imagine the scene again. A small cafe in Busan, the quiet sound of coffee machines, maybe a few customers inside, and two global superstars sitting together laughing like old friends. It almost feels like a scene from a movie, but sometimes real life creates moments that are even better than fiction. And for fans of Jimin and Jungkook, this is one of those moments they'll probably remember for a long time. Not because something dramatic happened, not because there was a big announcement, but because it showed something simple and genuine. Two people who have been through an extraordinary journey together, sharing an ordinary moment. And maybe that's the real magic of it, because when the lights of the stage turn off, when the cameras disappear, and when the noise of global fame fades away, what remains are the relationships that started before it all. The friendships built during long practice nights, the laughter shared during difficult tours, and the quiet support during moments when things felt overwhelming. Those are the connections that last, and every now and then, fans get a glimpse of them. This cafe visit might seem small compared to sold-out stadiums and record-breaking albums, but sometimes the smallest stories say the most about who someone really is. So what do you think? Was this simply two friends hanging out during a break? Or was it a meaningful moment that shows just how close Jimin and Jungkook truly are? Fans will probably continue debating that question for a while, and honestly, that's part of the fun. But one thing is certain. Moments like this remind us why people fell in love with BTS in the first place, not just because of their music, but because of the genuine connections they share, with each other and with their fans. And if stories like this made you smile even a little bit,